don't let your inner voice keep you from happiness. It's just a tape recorder and it can be altered.
Welcome to yourbrilliance.com. I'm your host, Amy Waterman. So do you have a little voice inside your head that says things like, oh, you should be skinnier. Oh, why did you say that? Your house is such a mess. Why haven't you achieved more, like at your age? Well, I have that voice. I think a lot of us do. Even though we know that that critical voice isn't really helping us, we still listen to it because, maybe it's right. Maybe we do need to lose weight. Maybe we do need to watch what we say. Maybe we need to put down our phone and pick up a mop. But our guest for today, Dorrit Karlsen, wants us to break that spell. We need to stop listening to our inner critic and start listening to our inner cheerleader instead. Dorrit is the founder and transformational coach at Dorrit Karlsen Heart Guide in Norway. She's a certified leadership by heart coach and Ericksonian hypnotherapy practitioner. She helps women struggling with confidence, self-esteem, self-image to eliminate those negative voices inside so that they can find their core strength and full potential to achieve happiness and success. Welcome, Dorrit.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm so excited.
Oh, well, this is actually a personal topic for me because I have that little voice inside and I want to know, does everybody have those little voices inside that are constantly nagging at us, or is it just like me?
No, more or less, we all have them. Some of us have them all the time, and the negative ones, they are dominating and they are pushing us down. They are just tearing us apart and making us feel less than good enough. We are not even worth anything. We can't even do that. We're not good enough. Mm-hmm. Simply. But the positive ones, if we can encourage those to come around, then we can achieve so much more, and life will change color.
Well, one of the things though, so I will give props to my critical inner voice. Sometimes I think it does help me out because it says things like, don't be a slob, get off the sofa and do something. And I guess, it pushes me. So maybe that critical inner voice is kind of on our side, or maybe not.
Yeah. The inner voice is actually trying to keep us safe. From the beginning of time when man started to walk the earth, we had those little voices that were telling us to do stuff, to move, to keep it clean around where we live, and to take a bath and not just sit there, and little stuff like that we take for granted today. But for them, it was like hygiene, it was survival, it was the way of life. So we still have those.
So it's a survival mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So one of the things I sometimes think about is that inner voice talks to us in our own voice. And it sounds kind of like maybe the voice of our mother or maybe the voice of our conscience. So where did it come from?
It actually comes from our childhood. From we are within the womb in the third trimester up till the age of 7 years old, we are little walking tape recorders. We actually record everything that is being said to us and around us. So if, for instance, our parents are arguing about money or something of that sort, arguing about money is kind of a normal topic, then you will get a negative impression about money because that leads to negative emotions. You see it and you feel it, that money is negative. And that will affect you for the rest of your life. Maybe you earn a lot of money, but you will spend them just as fast because money is negative. Money is not something that you want to keep holding on to. So you find subconsciously we make decisions to get rid of things. We are wired to make like a status quo. So our subconscious is trying to make it right, if you know what I mean, to make our our outside coherent with our inside. So after we are 7 years old and we don't learn those programs, and actually up till 7 we are in a hypnotic state. So during that phase we are not thinking and reasoning, we are just absorbing. So that's why you hear the voices and it sounds like your mother or whatever, because it might be that.
So I have a question though. Why
Yeah.
is it that I seem to have imbibed so many of the negative messages and I don't really hear any of the positive messages that I must have heard as a kid?
Yeah. Well, it's the negative ones that are the most powerful, and they grow because we feed them. If you know, we feed them by doing as they say. So if you listen to the negative voices and you give in to them, you will give them right, and they will grow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when my inner voice says, you're being such a slob, get up and do something, I should just ignore it?
No, because that's a positive one. But the one that is saying, oh no, you don't, today you're not beautiful, today you should go and do something with your hair or change clothes, or you can't go out looking like that. That one you should just like.
Okay, I want to know then. I want to know the difference. How do we distinguish between the voices that are telling us stuff because we need to hear it and the voices that are telling us stuff that's just sabotaging us?
Well, if you hear a voice, try feeling what it wants. Why is it here? What does it want you to do? Does it want you to get up and mop the floor? Well, that's a positive thing. You will be moving, you will be in activity, you will like exercise in a way, and it will get clean. You will have a healthy and hygienic and clean home. So that's a positive thing. But if it tells you that don't apply to that school, you're never going to finish it anyway, you can't have that job because you've never worked with that before. When it keeps telling us stuff like that, then it's preventing us from growing, from expanding, from finding our full potential and our happiness.
And I really resonate with that, because what I think the voice is trying to do when it says, don't apply for that job, you know, you're not going to be qualified, or, you know, you just got to accept that you're getting old, you're not going to look the same as you did. I tend to think that that voice is trying to keep me safe by telling me to lower my expectations. And so it actually is trying to keep me so that I don't take a risk that I might fail. So
Yeah.
maybe it's kind of good. I don't know.
Well, to stay where we are is the safest. So our mind will always try to keep us where we are. But it is not dangerous to try for the school that you really want to go to, but you feel is a bit above your level. It's not dangerous. And it's not dangerous to apply to a job that you have never worked before, but you really, really, really want to learn, you know? So it's about getting those out of the way and be able to do that, to feel confident and to feel that, hey, that's the voice of my mom, you know, that's the voice of my teacher in first grade that said, you're never going to be a writer or whatever. Yeah.
So do you think it actually helps to try and trace back those voices to where we originally learned them in the first place?
Mm-hmm. What I do in my therapy sessions within my coaching is that I lead the client back through a kind of a hypnotic state, and they get up like images or like a little video, a picture, or a feeling of the moment that it happened. For instance, you were the little girl that were in the shop and you had not been behaving your best that day, and you really, really, really wanted that doll, but your parents said, no, you're not worth it. You can't have it. You're not worth it. And that gets stuck in your brain, and you will, for the rest of your life, be trying to sabotage yourself when you get the big opportunities, you will subconsciously make decisions to spoil your own progress because you're not worthy. So
thinking about, as a parent myself,
mm-hmm.
the things I say that, just probably come off, you're not even thinking about them. You say these things. And I know, like in that example, the parents weren't probably even thinking when they said that.
No.
It just kind of slipped out of their mouth and they forgot about it.
Yep.
What does that mean for us as parents? Do we need to actually be watching every single thing we say to our kids who are under 7?
No, kids are really resilient and they can handle most things as long as they know that we love them just the way they are. But it's important for us to remember that children underneath the age of 7 is not able to reason. They just absorb. So when we are acting like a coach, like a trainer, like a coach for a team, a coach would say, come on, you can do better than this, and you got to perform better, and I know you can do better, and you're not good enough, and if you're going to make the team, you have to step up your game and stuff like that, and parents, we are coaches without even realizing. And if you say that to a child under the age of 7, all they will hear is, you're not good enough, you can't do this, you're not worthy. They don't understand that this is to push them because they don't know reason. They just hear the words, and the words get stuck in their mind. And another fact is that we are on the subconscious level of our mind 95% of the day. So it is that part of the brain that is guiding us, that is doing everything, except for 5% of the day when we are in our conscious mind. So that's why it doesn't help us to read like think positive books or better yourself books, because you understand what it says, and you got the information, but you're getting it in your conscious mind that's only operating on like 40 bits in 5% of the day, and not in your subconscious mind that is working 95% of the time with 40 million bits. So that is why I feel it's so important that people, especially us women, because we are beating ourselves up over not being good enough, that we can learn that by entering into the subconscious, like in a session that I do, or some can even have success with self-hypnosis, like the tapes, if you use them at night or early in the morning, just as you go to sleep or just when you wake up, you can go into that theta phase of brainwaves and actually alter the messages that are in there. So that's what I'm doing. So yeah.
So in some ways, who you need to convince is your inner 7-year-old, not the inner grown-up who, like yeah. I really have read, because I read all that positives too, and it gives you this burst of, ooh, yay, I'm great, but then the negative voices just come back. So yeah. I want to know, how exactly does hypnotherapy work? How exactly does it access the subconscious part of the brain? I've never done it before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's really easy. Via the medias. So we've got the impression that hypnosis is very like ta-da, and people are acting like monkeys or stuff like that. It's not that at all. It's just how can I put this? You enter to the back of your mind, or you feel that you are closing your eyes and you're going inside to your happy place, to call it that. And I'm the guide, and I'm just asking questions, and people are answering the first thing that comes to their mind, and from that I'm picking what's important and guiding them to find the root of what actually is their problem. And when we find it, we actually communicate with it. Sounds weird, but it's really, really awesome. And we can communicate with it. The client can get a lot of great information from it, even get like advice on what to do, how to proceed. We can acknowledge it, and we can integrate that into the subconscious, the new stuff that we make. So when they get back into the room, so to call it, they are feeling a lot like light and free, and this was awesome.
So when you're in that hypnotic state, do you find the root of the negative messages, and then it's like you put affirmations on top of that?
No, not affirmations.
Okay.
We acknowledge that is the problem. So when we find the problem, can I take an example? Can I? Yeah, okay. I had a client that was afraid of boats and tunnels, afraid of the dark, afraid of small spaces, dark rooms, and things like that. So via just like a guided meditation, I got her to relax and to calm down and to not think about the things that were going on around her or think about anything. She was just there and following my voice. And that's how she got into the subconscious. And I asked her, when she was thinking about that feeling, that fright, that horror of being in a tunnel or being on a boat and being locked, where do you feel that in your body? And she said she felt it here in her chest. It was like a pain in her chest every time she was thinking about, I have to go through a tunnel. And it was like, you know. And normally we would just think, that's anxiety and it's just that you can't breathe. But when I ask my clients, I say, well, has it got any shape or any color? And she was like, yeah, it looks like a tornado. It looks like a huge black tornado that's swirling around in my chest. And we actually talked to it and said, hey, why are you there? Why did you come? And when did you come to her the first time? And a lot of stuff like that. And she discovered, I'm going to sound like a lunatic, I know. She discovered that she actually was working in a mine in her prior life. She was a man. And the way she realized that was she said, I'm looking down, I'm seeing my feet. I have big black shoes on. I have a big baggy trousers on, and I'm dirty. I have big dirty man hands. And I said, where are you? Well, it's dark everywhere, and I'm in a tunnel, and a lot of stuff like that. And so we started talking and said, who are you? And he says, his name was Andre, and he was working in a mine, and he had actually been trapped in the mine because of like a landslide or something. Yeah. So that's why she was afraid of being in tunnels, because he had been hurt inside of the mine. So when she realized that it wasn't her terror, it wasn't something that she had experienced in her childhood that had given her this fear, it was a memory that was from a relative from many, many, many years ago, because our body can actually store memories in our DNA. That's how we survive. That's how we evolve. But she got it up really clearly, and it was so amazing to see that she was like, oh, this is not mine. This is something that someone else has put here. So now she's like running around with her husband, and they're living in a tiny caravan, and all the roads they are driving here in Norway have tunnels. So it's just given her more freedom. Yeah.
That is amazing. So hypnotherapy is so much broader than just trying to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. It can
Yeah.
unlock all sorts of mysteries. And I want to know,
Mhm.
you work with clients over the world, right? You're not just limited
Yeah.
to clients where you are.
No, no, no. I work like this over the Zoom.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, for those of you watching, if you want to try this out for yourself and you want to work with Dorrit or just find out maybe a little bit more about what she does, we have a link for you. Just go to yourbrilliance.org/Dorrit. That's yourbrilliance.org/DORRIT. Thank you so much for coming onto the show. And I wondered if you had any last message you'd like to leave our viewers with.
Yeah. I just want to say to you, all you girls and guys out there listening, don't let your inner voice keep you from happiness. It's just a tape recorder, and it can be altered, but you can't shout at the tape recorder and make it change that song, change that program. You have to physically do something about it and get help, get a program or something so you can get out of that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And thank you out there for watching. We hope to see you again soon. Until then, let your brilliance shine.